Today was a very ordinary weekend. As usual, Leon, Roswida, and Muan arrived at the city gate to welcome Noah, and together they returned to the Silver Dragon Castle. Time passed quickly. Inside the dining hall, Leon, Rosita, Noah, and Muan enjoyed a delicious dinner together. Tonight's meal was steak cooked by Rosita. Because the steak was so delicious, Muan ate far more than usual. After dinner, she lay on the dining table, still holding her knife, wearing a blissfully satisfied expression. I really can't eat anymore. My stomach is so full, she groaned. Noah sat beside her, sipping water from a cup. Hearing Muan's complaint, she gently reminded her, "After eating that much, of course you'll feel uncomfortable lying down." Muan shook her head lightly and let out a few small chuckles. She lazily replied, "Noah, Mom's steak is so delicious." Noah put down her cup and thought for a moment. Then an idea came to her, a way to help Muan feel less bloated. She took Muan's hand and led her toward the dining room door. "Come on," Noah said softly. "Let's go for a walk outside to help with digestion. 2 laps, then we'll come back." Hearing that, Muan immediately perked up. She loved spending time with Noah. She looked at her with hopeful eyes and happily answered, "Yeah." She grabbed Noah's arm, leaning against her as they left the dining table. Before leaving, Noah turned back toward Rosita. "Mom, we're going out for a while." Rosita, who was tidying the dishes, replied, "Okay, be careful." Tonight, Leon was in charge of washing the dishes. Wearing an apron and gloves, he stood at the kitchen sink, busily cleaning. Rosita brought in the remaining bowls and plates. "This is the last pile that needs washing," she said. Leon glanced back at the dishes. "Oh, just put them here." After a while, he finished cleaning all the bowls and utensils. At that moment, a thought suddenly came to him. Casually, he asked Rosita, "By the way, next Tuesday is your birthday, right?" He wiped a plate with a clean cloth as he turned to look at her. Rosita was slightly surprised by the question. She placed a hand on her chin, tilted her head upward, and thought for a moment. "Tuesday, October 25th. Yes, that is the day I was born." Here, some knowledge about dragon birthdays becomes important. Dragons count their birthdays differently from humans. Because dragons live long lives, they celebrate every year only until adulthood. After they become adults, they celebrate once every 10 years. Rosita was already an adult dragon, so she only had a birthday celebration once every decade. However, she had other plans. Although her next real birthday was still 2 years away, she had no intention of telling Leon that. She didn't want him to know about certain dragon customs, at least not yet. Instead, Rosita decided to tease him. She gave him a mischievous smile. Why did you suddenly bring up my birthday? Are you planning to give me a gift?" Hearing that, Leon almost exploded in irritation, as if she had provoked him on purpose. "How is that possible?" he snapped. He continued putting away the clean plates, clearly not thinking about giving her anything. After all, their relationship was complicated. With his back turned toward her, he muttered, "Since ancient times, prisoners have never been expected to give birthday gifts to their captors." Rosita found his reaction amusing. Leon set aside part of the dishes on the table and turned back to collect the rest. He shut his eyes, refusing to look directly at her. At that moment, Roswida got another idea. She stepped closer, bent slightly to meet his eye level, and asked, "Since you don't want to give me a gift, shouldn't you at least celebrate in some other way?" Leon opened his eyes, clearly intrigued despite himself. "What other way?" he asked. Rosita closed her eyes and pressed her fingertips lightly to her temple, pretending to think very hard. "For example, you could help me hold a birthday party." Leon froze. He pointed to himself, stunned. "Me?" He had not expected Rosita to ask him to plan her birthday. He didn't answer immediately. The idea troubled him. "You're the queen of the Silver Dragon clan," he said. "There must be dragons lining up to celebrate your birthday. Why would you need me to handle it?" From his perspective, with her authority, she could easily gather many attendants and host a grand celebration without him. But Rosita shook her head lightly, a faint disappointment in her tone. She reminded him of something from the previous year. "Last year, you were still unconscious, and the children wanted to celebrate my birthday with you, but you never woke up. Now that you're awake, don't you want to make it up to us?" Leon grew nervous. "Compensation," he murmured. He imagined how Noah and Muan must have felt, wanting their father there, but unable to celebrate with him. However, he truly did not want to host Rosita's birthday. "I don't want to disappoint the girls," he thought, "but I also don't want to obediently celebrate the she-dragon's birthday." Rosita patted his shoulder gently, giving him a look full of expectation. "To put it bluntly," she said, "as the model husband of the family, it's normal for you to celebrate your wife's birthday. You don't want others thinking we have marriage problems, right?" Leon was at a complete loss for words. He tried to argue back, even if only a little. "What if you don't say it so tactfully?" he muttered helplessly.